Hey, Brandon, how do you keep your guitar from being stolen?
I don't know how.
Put it in a bass case.
I am so goddamn poor, nothing gets me up anymore. I am so old and jaded, overblown and overrated. So give me all your stuff, give me all your stuff. Everything is never enough. Give me all your stuff, give me all your stuff. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. I want your stuff.
Oh, welcome to the Pedalboard podcast, the podcast for all you jaded gear junkies, Jones and for your next fix. If you listen to the last episode, I was kind of bitching about overdrives pretty hard. And we also talked about the possible of a pedal that I would love to see thrust into thy universe. And if there was ever a man for that job, he's joining us today. Your co-hostess with the mostest, uh, the wizard friend himself, Brandon Schock of Shock Rock Effects, and the up and coming pedalboard indoors pedalboard. How would you say we are involved with? This was to say the pedalboard, basically pedal brand, the professor himself, Professor Pedalz. Um, you're gonna see a lot of cool stuff. But today is very exciting because you are going to literally hear the conversation that spawns a guitar pedal. We're gonna talk about it, hash it out, and do it.
And yeah, then we'll build it.
Then we'll build it, and you can buy
So
it.
you can buy it.
Yeah. So you get to hear the inception. Now, we did in the last episode, we talked about it a little bit. I kind of alluded to a pedal that I would love to see in existence because it doesn't exist. It really does not. What we're doing, and basically, I really enjoy the Afterneath, the Earthquaker Devices Afterneath. I think it's a great pedal. I love the concept of like a shimmer reverb. A lot of guys have done it. I mean, there's a lot of companies that do stuff that's very similar to the Afterneath, and you can usually get that on a budget, but they all have the same fatal flaw. The second you hit them with any kind of like gain or overdrive, they get super shrill and it just sounds like balls. And we don't like the sound of balls here.
You know, one thing as far as shimmer reverbs go, a lot of that's gonna be you're adding all that high end in the shimmer to, if you're hitting it with a distortion, or as what you were talking about in the last episode is running that into the front end of your amp, you're going to be clipping that into the amplifier. So it is kind of a fatal flaw of all shimmer reverbs because of that. But at the same time, I've run that K-Line Wonderland, and that thing, it works because of the shimmer mix knob. It actually helps with that.
So you obviously have a solution in mind for the problem.
Oh, I have a few solutions in mind
Few
for this
solutions
problem.
for
For
this
for
for this problem.
one, there needs to be a mix knob
A mix
for the
knob.
shimmer.
Awesome. Okay, so the second piece of this puzzle is, so we're talking about a shimmer reverb that is good sounding, but also if you hit it with gain going into the front of your amp, is still good sounding. Like it still sounds cool, because that's such a iconic kind of like modern effect. But I just love that, and I just can hear it in my brain. Like I can hear it in my brain, but actually making that sound a reality is definitely that's where you come in, Brandon. With your
You know who does a wonderful job of shimmer reverbs with high gain distortions is Devin Townsend.
Yeah, but he's got 30 pounds of gear and like a bunch of processors and stuff. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean? Like he's got
that he's got that down. I mean, that sounds wonderful.
yeah, but when you're using like axe effects and like helixes and like, that's a whole nother animal because you can put that at the touch of a button, you can slip that anywhere in the signal chain. And it's just like bam. And you have all these like pre-animated, like, EQ things that happen as soon as you do that. And you can have all that be automated with a MIDI switch or a laptop. That's a different, we're talking a different animal here.
That's true. But
I didn't get that. Did you try again?
Is that your phone or mine?
some
It's my
I'm not
watch.
sure I understand.
I don't like you, Cyborg.
I'm not sure I understand.
It's Siri. It's Siri. So okay. So one of the cool things that I would like to also see it do, just because I have this tone in mind, is to have a nice, warm, luscious tremolo, like a vintage tremolo, also in the circuit that's on a separate switch so that you can introduce it for those delightful, swelly rockabilly tones. And then when you hit it with an an overdrive or a fuzz pedal, you get that fun kind of choppy, wavy, horrible summer day vibe.
Yeah, but do we want the tremolo to be before or after the reverb? Because if you put a tremolo before a reverb, you're gonna get a totally different sound than if you put the tremolo after the reverb. Because the tremolo after the reverb is gonna chop up all the sound.
I would say before, because I would like it to be more integrated into the sound and less like, so
Or
that
do we want to put it? Do we want to put it in the reverb tail?
I don't know. That's a good question. For me, I would like it to be affected by the reverb. You know what I mean? Not affecting the reverb. I would like the delays and the shimmers and stuff to be integrated into the trem as well. So it's warm. I'm looking for warmth out of this guy. You know what I mean? That's what I'm wanting. I don't want like a hard chop. I'm not talking like a modern reverb. I'm talking like a modern trem. I'm talking about like an old.
You're talking about like
trem.
an optical,
optical,
yeah,
warm,
or
slow,
tube style.
Yeah, just something super warm, kind of old school. But that's kind of what I was thinking. And then like they're on each. There's a switch for each. So one just turns the reverb on, one turns the trim on. It'd just be a space saver for these guys looking for because this shimmery reverb like that I'm talking about has like very classic notes of like a spring tank, but you can also get those short delay kind of repeats as it shimmers off into the background and swells. One of the pedals that you built that I really enjoy the swell off of is the Ocean Man on the bottom mode. It almost is cello, space cello is what I call it, actually, is when I talk to my guys. Because my guys at my band will be like, dude, can you do that space cello sound? I'll be like, yeah, got you. Like,
that's the oh god, what's it called? That's changing the clock, the digital clock on the effect, and that's why you get that cello sound. Because it's lagging on the.
I love the lag. The lag is what really sells that effect. Not talking about that for this pedal, but I was just saying like that does kind of. I really like that kind of. It adds depth to what you're doing, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is I want to add some pomp and circumstance to like slower, kind of more arpeggiated, like chord spelled riffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you've played the so I do make a reverb. I don't sell that reverb because I just always thought there's so many shimmer reverbs and digital reverbs out there, and there's so many good reverbs out there, but we're talking about something different, something complete that we're talking about right now.
Yes.
And you've played the reverb that I've made with the shimmer on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and I liked it. But once again, it kind of reminds me of an afternoon. Um, and
but I
you know,
think you said once before when you were playing it, you said it's like the afterneath, but warmer.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely warmer, and that's the reason, I figured, you know, like you would be the guy to talk to about this because you're kind of already in the ballpark anyway. You know what I mean? Like, so because I think if you warmed the reverb up enough, that
Yeah.
it would already start to combat the shrillness of when you hit it with gain.
Well, and I think the other part of that is it's shrill because they've got the I mean, it's great because it's very ambient and it's very big and it's got a lot of shimmer to it, but the more shimmer you add, the more harsh it's going to get.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what we're trying to combat. And then, like on the Wonderland, it had like the mix knob, which was
Yeah.
really handy because you could, kind of split the difference. You could split the
Yeah.
difference essentially. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And we mentioned I was describing it and you plucked the title out of it. We were gonna call it the Black Sunshine.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. That's a perfect name.
I actually, on my way home from a filming gig today, I envisioned the um the design, and I'm very stoked about it. I actually set up my art studio over the weekend, so it's serendipitous because my art studio is already set up, which is the way I like to do it too. Me and Michael, like AKA Moon Toboggan, work in a very similar fashion. Like we like pen to paper, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of our thing, but I have learned, us as he has to like digitize it to a degree after we've done it. But the initial creation, 90% of the time for me, and I'm sure it is for him too, is pen to paper. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
what
it's
kind of like
either that or he could, maybe have one of those tablet things. So it's like pen to paper, but it's digitized.
yeah,
So
I have one of those too, but the problem with me is
yeah.
it's the tactile feedback that I really enjoy. Um, but I also have like an enormous collection of Copic markers. And if you know anything about markers, Copic markers are like the best you can buy. Um, and I'm super into Copic markers, but like I've got a vision. But one of the things, the question is, what kind of enclosure would we want to put it in?
Um I mean, it's gonna go in the same enclosure that I'm using for everything else.
Nice. I
Same
know.
size.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that size.
Sideways view. Uh,
Perfect.
if if we want to do a vintage style tremolo, we will probably do something, very simple two knob trem.
Yeah, that's all it needs to be.
Volume,
It does not need to
volume.
be just a simple trim. And I'm telling you, like, it's a sound that I create with my board now because my board has a monster effects long ago in the long time ago in a galaxy far away, made a trim that was really really good called the Swamp Thing. It Monster Effects was not around for very long. They were around for a couple years, but the Swamp Thing is the brownest face, warmest trim pedal I have ever played, which is exactly what I was looking for at the time. My wife actually bought me that as a gift. She knew I was looking for one. She found one because they're hard to find. Any Monster Effect stuff is hard to come by. And she found it for me. And then I run that with the Afterneath, and I just create this very just desperado, like spaghetti Western in space. It's a spaghetti Western in space tone is what I'm looking for. But I also want to be able to hit it with some nasty because I think it would sound amazing. I play in a 3-piece band, man. That thing feels like one of my clean tone. That feels so much space. and it's a good filling space. It's like a warm space. It's the same thing I use the bottom mode on the Ocean Man for. It fills out this space and it creates like a orchestral kind of thing. But I'm looking for a space orchestra, yeah, but in a desert, the like with the black sun and tentacles coming out of it, and a silhouette of a man staring at the impending doom, which is essentially what the thing's going to look like in a very low color scheme. Noticed our channel, your pedals, moon, toboggans, artwork is all starting to kind of gravitate towards a very lol style aesthetic as far as color choice, because my color choice is like rainbows, pink, lots of like I used to draw with highlighters. That's kind of how I developed the style. Was the only colors I would use would be like a red or black and then highlighters. Like, dude, I have burned through so many highlighters in my life. It is stupid. Like the amount of highlighters I have upstairs is stupid. And I buy them all the time. I'm like, I need more.
I got buckets of highlighters, but that's because I ended up walking home from work with them.
Nice. Well, you work at like Costco,
yeah.
So you can just it's bulk buy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we don't get them at Costco. They just, it just ends up in my pocket. I walk home with it and I forget to bring them back.
I did the same thing. I've worked jobs. I have a bucket of pens. Like I have a bucket of pens. It's not
I must have 200 Walgreens pens.
It's not intentional.
Chilling around.
It's like I don't intentionally go. I'm going to steal.
Walk home with you.
I'm not going to steal a bunch of pens, but I just happen to have a bunch because I just forget about it. But yeah, dude. So it sounds like we
tape.
Yeah, it sounds like we kind of got it sorted for the all intents and purposes. I knew you really done.
Let's circle back for a second.
Circle back.
I just gotta say, I love Devin Townsend.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I love Devin Townsend too. Strapping young lad. Vi. Even in Vi, he was awesome.
Anything.
Yeah,
Devin, and hilarious. The guy is hilarious.
He's a showman. Like he's definitely a showman. Like he's an entertainer on top of being an awesome artist. Even one of my favorite videos of him is a really simple video, but it's the EMG TV video of him playing Kingdom by himself, just with backing tracks.
When he did what did they call it? They had to call it something different because he did a compilation of Deconstruction, The Mighty Masturbator, and one of the Save the World. He did a compilation of those three for EMG TV that was amazing. And he just sitting there by himself, just clicking the buttons and playing, singing. It was just amazing.
Well, the dude is an animal. I watched a lot of his videos of him recording and just doing stuff, and the dude is the only time I've ever seen him not really bringing the ruckus, and it was still hilarious, was when he had to do a show at NAMM and he did not want to be there. It was pretty obvious that he did not want to be there, but he's a gear whore, so he's just I'll do it.
And it wasn't just that. There was one video I saw of him where he was talking about his new album, and the album was super, it wasn't bringing the ruckus. It wasn't super high gain or anything. It was his calm down album, and he used a Fender Stratocaster and
I've listened to that album. It's great.
That album is amazing. Yeah.
He's just one of those dudes. The dude is an amazing guitar player. B, the dude is an absolutely stunning singer. He's stunning vocalist. The man's range.
And the range is amazing.
Well, there's a lot of guys with range. There's a lot of guys with range, but the problem with a lot of guys with range is they don't have strength in all of their range. They have strength in some of it, but then some of it you can definitely feel the wind fall out of it when they go up for something. Then there's simple singers. Think about a singer that didn't have a ton of range, but is regarded as one of the best singers ever. Because his control of what he had as Freddie Mercury. He did not have the hugest range ever. He actually had a pretty normal vocal range, but he knew how to use it. Now imagine taking someone of that caliber and giving him the strength to use a large range and be able to manipulate their voice, like, just absolutely, just
Yeah.
totally manipulate their voice. It's absolutely crazy to
And
think about.
obviously throwing a love for puppets.
Yeah, dude, just in general. Here we go. Uh-oh. All right, we're doing the Zoom audio. My audio just cut out on my recording device, so we are going strictly today with the Zoom audio. So deal with it.
We're talking events.
I'm probably going to edit this one. I'm going to do a little bit like previously on Pedalboard Podcast. Well, it's cool, man. Like, how often does this happen?
That's all good. Yeah.
Like, people are going to get to hear about the inception of the idea, then the fleshing out of the idea, and then actually have something tangible they can put in their hand and hear and play. That has it's a common complaint with this particular effect, is that it becomes brittle when exposed to gain. It's like gain is a shimmer reverb's kryptonite. It just crumbles in the presence of it. But if that was corrected, think about how much more usable a shimmer reverb would be. Like, how
I think the thing we're going to run into though is, if it's not going to be enough shimmer for some people, because that's the thing, is like when you're running a shimmer reverb, you're running, octaves into distortion, or you're running distortion into octaves. You're gonna get some brittleness if there's too much of that high octave in there. So this is not going to be like a full-on shimmer reverb, because a full-on shimmer reverb is going to sound terrible with distortion no matter what you do, because
no, we're talking about
timing.
splitting the difference. We're talking about getting a very shimmer reverb effect, but one that's definitely more versatile than the normal shimmer reverb. Yes, will it shimmer as much as like an afterneath? No, it's not going to, because what we're trying to do is make something that is a shimmer reverb, but usable, like usable in most settings is what I'm talking about. And we're on the same page with that. Yeah, it's not going to shimmer as much as like a straight shimmer reverb, but unlike a straight shimmer reverb, when you hit an overdrive pedal in front of it, running into the front of your amp, so you don't have to have a fancy switching situation or something like piping into your effects loop or anything like that. Just a straight up pedal board. You punch an overdrive or fuzz pedal in front of it, it's going to sound fat and big and like a giant coming at you.
The other thing is, we can do 3 different ones, because I always like to add that three options.
No, so, and that is there
definitely will be options.
That is because I think it should have like a full, so if you're going to do that, it should have a full on shimmer mode, like this is the shimmer reverb, use gain at your own risk. We'll call that the mode. That'll be the mode name, own risk, like risk mode. Dude, that's what it should be called. It should totally be called risk mode. But no, that's just the trappings of a Brandon Schock pedal. Is usually it's going to have more than one mode that you can kind of play around with different parameters. And it's going to be be affected in a different way. But I really think that if we added the trim and the reverb, it would be.
I don't have any problem doing the trim. I used to build, way back in the day, one of my very first pedals after the fuzz pedal was the 6-shooter Vertigo, and that was a delay and tremolo, and it was a vintage tremolo, And actually, I think I sent you the song that was actually going to
You
be
did.
that was going to be the demo song for that pedal, but my computer crashed and I lost everything. And that trem sound, I think, is what you're talking about. That
Yeah,
very
no, that is.
vintage. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like my my Swamp Thing, which is basically like a brown face, very warm tremolo, kind of like a Billy Strange tremolo. I don't know if you're familiar with Billy Strange. Have you, I don't know a song, like Bang Bang by Nancy Sinatra.
yeah.
That kind of tremolo.
Yeah, we'll see. But that tremolo on that song, it's kind of vintage, but at the same time, that one's very choppy.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
added after the amplifier.
Yeah.
I actually know exactly every little detail about that recording. It's added after the amplifier. I mean, it's basically, but it's still warm in regards to like a modern reverb, but it's definitely more choppy than say what I'm talking about. But I'm just talking about the warmth that comes off that, or like I'm talking like Credence trim.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. And
Yeah.
that's basically that's an amp trem, so that's obviously, a bias trem on an amplifier, but that's basically what we're talking about, is doing a bias trem.
Ballparking that, yeah.
I don't even know if we need a depth knob for the tremolo. I think basically it should just be an on off with a speed knob. That's my view. A volume knob to boost it if you want to boost the trem signal, but I think it should definitely maybe just be speed and volume for the trem.
Yeah, maybe like an internal pot or something to like play with the depth. Yeah, do an internal pot to play with the depth. Because once I set the depth on a trem, dude, that's it. That's where it is. And like I would love to be able to do that, but I don't need to have that like on the outside of the pedal. I can just go in there and like tweak it until I get it right and be like, that's it.
But I mean, with those vintage style bias trems, I mean, we could make it choppy, but I think we just kind of want that pulsing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's like anything old and creepy. But yeah, dude, I'm super stoked on this. This is gonna be something I've been thinking about a long time. I've been thinking about this a long time, about like I would just love to have that, because it's a shortcoming that I can't seem to overcome, even with a combination of effects. And I've wanted this effect so bad for so long that I'm super excited.
I mean, you've got the Afterneath and the Astral Destiny. Doesn't the Astral Destiny have a tone knob on it?
It does, but it's still
does that not, it doesn't help?
It helps. It is definitely more on track than the Afterneath. The Astral Destiny, though, it's a shimmer. It's a lot of options, and the shimmery ones are not the ones I favor. I tend to favor the more like, me, I love octave down stuff. You know that about me. That's anybody that has like hung out with me for more than like 10 minutes knows that octave down is my fucking jam, dude. Every board I've ever had has had some sort of octave down setting. And it's just,
well, the Astral Destiny has a sub octave.
Yes, it does. Right? Yes, it does. And that is basically why I love it. Like that's why I'm like, this is a great thing. And that mode sounds good when you punch it with gain, because you're not getting all these shimmery out of control highs. Yeah, it's just low stuff. And I mix that with I have that one on my favorite board that I have. I have a little mini board. Well, it's like one of them small Gator boards, but it is my favorite board that I have.
About the green one or the black one?
The green one. It's basically what's on that board is it's got a pitch black tuner, which is my favorite of stomp tuners. You can have an opinion on a stomp tuner, but
mine's going to be the Digitech poly tune thing.
For me, it's just I like it. I like it because it's bright and I can see it without having to look directly at it. Because the last thing I want to do at a show is like let people know I'm tuning my guitar. So I usually talk to them and I'm side eyeing that thing, just getting in tune, but I can see it perfectly clear out of my peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the strobe mode. I always end up using strobe mode. on
Once again,
everything.
this is
Yeah.
tomato. Everyone's got a different preference. That just happens to be mine. But then I run that into to the Game Changer Plasma Drive, which is my favorite distortion pedal to ever be created. I love the Plasma Drive. I know you like the Plasma Coil, but I'm a Plasma Drive dude. That thing just sounds nasty. It sounds like high voltage. Game Changer.
So does the plasma coil.
It does. It does.
It's
It's just
amazing.
I like the flavor of the Plasma Drive. I just like the flavor that it gives me. It's a sound that I've been looking for since childhood. It sounds exactly like Quake 2. It is Quake 2 in a pedal.
Yeah, I can
Which
see
is-
that.
It's just
Yeah,
like, okay,
definitely.
fair enough. You win. You win, Game Changer Audio. Way to smash the competition.
I mean, so the only thing, so on my board, I've got the pitchfork running into the Dr. Freakenstein,
The Ranger. The Ranger, yeah.
chop, the chop fuzz with noise button into my plasma coil. So like that's the front of my pedal board. It's just those three. It just like I can just turn those three on and it just like it makes its own sounds. It's pretty cool.
Then there's one of the cool. Okay, so this pedal board, I played with the order on it. It's not necessarily in an order that makes a lot of sense. It's just in the order that sounds the best for this board, in my opinion, which is not everyone's opinion. But okay, so you got Pitch Black Tuner, Plasma Drive. The Plasma Drive runs into a pedal you built for me, the Super Awesome Fun Pedal Experience Silicon Plushie Edition, which was built specifically for me, and it's got a fuzz, a delightful fuzz, and my favorite delay. Period. Like I've got the standalone version on my big board now because it works. It's perfect. I like a delay I don't have to do a lot of shit to. I just go boom, delay. It's there. And then that goes into a Boss SY1, which is a delightful pedal. Good synthy goodness. And then that goes into the Astral Destiny, and then that's the board. I mean, like, dude, that's like plenty.
Pedal order sounds perfect to me right there.
Yeah, it sounds great. And I absolutely love that board. In fact, when I go to like jam with people, like just say if I was like starting a new band or something, and that's the board I'd bring. I wouldn't bring the motherboard, over here.
I mean, the only thing I would add to that board to make it like perfect for almost any situation is like 2 micro pedals, like maybe a chorus micro pedal and a tremolo micro pedal at the end.
Chorus, probably not. I don't see why I would ever use a chorus. I just don't use a lot of that particular kind of modulation, at least like standalone. But trim, yes, trim. I absolutely agree on. I should find a mini trim to like slap on there because that would pretty much do it.
The what's it called? The iSet trim would be perfect for you.
Yeah, dude, that actually sounds like
some nice cheap little,
just a cheap little thing, and just a little trim. There's a little trim guy just hanging out on that board. Just a little trim guy. Little guy. Don't need to be much. All right. So what we're gonna do now is our weekly segment called Sound Toy of the Week. Brandon, so tell me, enlighten us. What is your sound toy of the week?
So I got this one just for you because I love this pedal, and it's been on my board almost as long as I've had the pedal. Like I think I've only taken it off my board once, and it's pretty amazing. And I really cannot pronounce the name of the company. I will.
It's
try
okay.
here.
It's okay.
It's Kartaku Amplification.
Ooh.
And this pedal was custom made for me specifically. It is the Warmer, which is a tube screamer.
Nice. I like me a tube screamer.
Yep. And you know, it's got 3 dip switches that do different things: clipping, bass boost. I'm not sure what the third one does, but it makes it sound good when it's on.
I'm gonna get
And
Vince on that Tube Screamer train too. He wants my TS9. What I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about hooking up with it.
But something really cool about this pedal, which I wish I could do on mine, is see this little line here?
Mm-hmm.
The pedal lights up
Oh,
all around
that's
with
rad.
a nice bright pink light all the way around.
That is rad.
Yeah.
Learn
so
how to. Let's figure out how to do that.
It's just, I think it's just a piece of plexi or something. It's pretty cool though. I would love to do stuff like that. But yeah, and then the artwork on it, just the Cthulhu with the little symbols here.
Anything Lovecraftians, I'm in.
I had
I'm in. Yeah, I've got the Cthulhu fuzz in a box, the Dunwich Amplification Cthulhu fuzz, which is not
I've
a great.
Almost bought that so many times.
Don't unless you just want it for the artwork, because it does not sound very good, dude.
Now those things are going for a pretty penny.
I know, but I love it. I love it aesthetically. It's that bad. I just think this thing looks badass.
It's like I'm not a Tube Screamer guy. I like the SD1, and I like God, what's it called? I like the SD1 and the DoD 250. Those are my overdrives. This is not, the Tube Scream was not my overdrive, but with all the options on this one, it really worked for me for a long time.
Me, it's just a straight up TS 808 if I'm gonna be bothered with an overdrive. I mean, it's just, I like it. TS 10 is pretty cool too. See, I'm thinking about getting a mini overdrive, like a mini TS 808, and putting it on my favorite board, my little board, like just a little mini one.
Yeah.
Just because then that I would have everything that I use.
But you want that mid hump, right?
That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I like. It's that mid raise.
So all the amps I've ever used are already mid hump. Like I use a Tube Screamer amp. So, I mean, and before that I used a crate amp, and I just crank the mids and take the bass and treble to like right in the middle. And so everything I've always run has already been mid humped. So I've never needed a Tube Screamer type amp. And so I like the DoD 250.
I like the DoD 250 too.
I freaking crank everything on that pedal, and I just run it straight into the amp like that. And it was always that's what I used when I played power metal. I just used the DoD 250 into a solid state amp.
And you did play the power metal.
I did play the power metal.
Are we ready for my sound toy of the week?
One more time, Lowell.
Yeah.
My sound toy is an overdrive.
It's fine. It's fine. It has the pink light up, so once again, you've kind of you've enticed me. Mine's an oldie but a goodie. This was the birth of my journey into pedals. I've had this for 1,000 years, and I still love it. I still play it sometimes, but this is my Digitech RP7. I use this for a very, very, very long time. And
is that the one with the tube in it?
Yes, it is. See, the tube is right here.
Wow.
It sounds really good, especially for what it is. It's kind of technical to use. Once you get it set up, it's good to go.
It does the space station in there, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that has a space station in it is got an A+.
Well, it also was my first exposure to a whammy. Was in this guy. So this is my first kind of like step into being obsessed with Digitech whammies. Space stations are cool too. I don't find them as usable. They kind of have that same problem.
That space station is just basically home use.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah. You just
I mean, yeah, I could use it in a recording, like maybe before a song or to end a song.
or
I'm not
just
gonna
as a
do it.
random sound in a
Yeah.
song, but like no, it's not usable. Like the Digitech whammy is an extremely usable effect. And I definitely favored like treadle effects, like wahs, anything where you can control like the ridge, like a Shin Univibe. Love
Yeah.
that. Um,
Still here.
no, I got you. But I really like the super awesome front pedal experience because it's got that time knob on the side. I can mess with my foot. That rules.
Yeah.
And that just like stuff like that.
So speaking of treadle effects, I have been sitting on this for a long time, and I'm sure you've seen it sitting around the shop. But at some
Yeah,
point,
I've
I need to put something in this. You know, not sure what or when, but it's ready to go. It's like a clown puked on it.
um man, what could you put in that? Like,
I mean, I could put anything in it, but what do I want to put in it? Because the unicorn puke pedal, you know, I've got that one over there, glowing in the dark, unicorn puke.
I don't know if you could do it, but I
I
have
don't,
an idea.
what?
Build a special edition Migu.
Oh, that's what's in the unicorn puke. There's a reverb, a Migo, and a delay.
Nice. Because isn't the Migu kind of mold spory?
Yeah, the Migo is mold spory. I guess I could do a dual pot in there and just straight up make it a mold spore, but
We'll ponder this a while.
I mean with the clown puke on it, I might need to do something else.
I'm gonna I want to like one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start gathering up like crybabies and then I'm just gonna gut them. And just
I
use.
have like 8 here.
I have a bunch too. I've got a
Yeah.
bunch I could just gut because they either don't work. I've gone through a lot of them where it just wore the pot out or whatever.
Oh, if anybody needs replacement parts for crybabies, I have about 6 in a bag.
I just want to turn them into something crazy. You know what I mean? Like something nuts. I had an idea to build a bunch of pedals that would connect like Voltron. Not exactly.
Well, they have a pedal board like that.
I've seen the puzzle ones, but I'm talking like Voltron, where it turns into a robot. You know what I mean? Like I'm not talking like the puzzle pieces that fit together. I'm talking like a Voltron or Power Rangers, like Megazord or something. Like I want to have it be like a shape of a toy.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a bit much for me.
Well, I think that's my lot in life is to be a bit much for most people.
Yeah. I mean, and there's another company. God, what are they called? But they make pedal boards and the pedal magnets to the board, and that's also the connection. So like, they have the whole line of pedals that do everything, and they all sound great, and they all connect to the board by magnets.
Or we could, like one of the things they used to do back in the day for guys with pedal boards before they would assemble these massive pedal boards is they would actually take all the components out of the pedal and reinstall it in a new housing. I've seen that a lot too.
I've seen a couple recently that were not very good.
Yeah, I'm talking about some of the old school ones for like the touring guys and stuff. There's a couple of pedal board companies that I've always been kind of attracted to. They don't necessarily do that, but one
Jam Pedals does that.
Jam Pedals does, but I'm talking like just pedal boards in general that are awesome. I really love trailer trash boards, like especially the light up ones that they do and stuff.
Yeah,
And
there was a company a while back that did some amazing boards, like furry animal fur and stuff, and they'd have cases for them. I can't remember what they're called. It was like Monkey Wrench or something like that. They were amazing boards, but they just kind of went away. I've not seen one in a long time.
There's a couple of really cool companies that made really cool looking stuff that just kind of faded into oblivion, or changed into something else. A couple that come to mind: Snarling Dog.
Oh yeah.
They made really cool looking stuff. Another one would be Damage Control. They became Strymon, but they don't do the damage control stuff anymore. And I thought the damage control stuff was awesome. I had a demonizer and it was amazing. But yeah, just some of these companies like Dan Electro, like classic looking Dan Electro stuff, kind of faded into oblivion. They have like stuff now, but
Yeah.
it's
didn't
not
like
nearly
the,
as cool as what it was.
I didn't like the Billionaire series, but the newer series where they have like the vintage look and they look all weathered and stuff. I do like those. I like the aesthetic of the new back talk. I mean, I love the old one, but I do like how they made the new one. I think it's a good recreation.
Yeah, I'm always on the. That's another one of those pedals. Me and you are both always on the hunt for us, and I'll talk back.
I think I'm good with getting a new one, but I gotta say, I've played the new one, and I have the Donner tap delay,
Mm-hmm.
and the tap delay reverse. You can dial it in, and it sounds pretty close, and it's good. And I got it for like $30.
Yeah, you're kind of the master of finding like the cheap, really good cheap pedals. You've shown me a couple of them that
Yeah.
have been absolutely stunning. What was it's the same people that the Wonderland is the same people that make that. What was the drive?
Oh, the
they did?
Jaguar.
The Jaguar. Yeah, it's like
K-Line Jaguar.
we were
That pedal was amazing.
when you were over here the other day, we
Yeah.
purposely tried to make it sound bad. So I took the I ran it through just a clean amp, right? And then I took the treble all the way up, bass all the way up, mids all the way down, distortion all the way up. You know, I did everything I could to make this thing sound like garbage. Still didn't sound like garbage.
And I was like, well, maybe let's just take all the tone out. We took all the tone knobs all the way down, and it still sounded amazing.
It still was good. I mean,
And
I wouldn't
had-
say I
had
say
you- I had you turn off I had you plug it directly into the computer just to see, and it was still
it was good.
better than like a Line 6 Spider.
It was you know, like yeah, it wasn't like super impressive when we did that,
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was usable. It wasn't
was usable.
terrible.
It was impressive to plug it straight in and it be usable.
Yeah, the Jet. Who makes that one? Is it Colleen?
The K-Line, I think
K-Line?
it's K-Line.
K-Line Jaguar. It's insane.
And the
of course,
Wonderland.
Wonderland's
also.
great too. Yeah, the Wonderland's super good. What was the purple one?
You're talking about the Enchanted Tones?
The Enchanted Tones.
That is a Dumble drive.
Yeah.
And you know what? As an always on pedal, like if we had Vince here, I'd be like, Vince, you should try this and like compare it to the CE1 preamp. Like I feel like that's the kind of pedal it is. It's like a preamp pedal that is always on.
I've had I've had a few of those. I used to use the Dynacomp always on. There for a while I had a pedal by Surfy Industries called the Blossom Point that I used to use as an always on pedal.
Yep, I remember watching that video.
Yeah, that's a great pedal. Actually, I still have that pedal and I'm probably gonna use it for some, but Vince currently has that pedal. I sent it to Vince to try.
No button, right?
The ones do now. They're the new V2s have a button, but I like the boldly putting no button on that thing. That appealed to me. You know, like, dude, I was just like, that's bold. That's ballsy, guys. It's a ballsy move. The big thanks to Surfy Industries for hooking us up with a bunch of pedals. Vince has got some right now. He's going to be doing some videos. We love you guys. Ted over at Surfy, you're the man. And he's also the drummer in Satan's Pilgrims, which is my favorite surf band. So
I saw one of their records the other day at a garage sale, amazingly enough.
well, you'd see all their records up in my living room. So yeah.
But no, I was just surprised seeing it at a garage sale, like just around town.
Well,
Like,
they're Portland band, and they've been around, and they actually been doing stuff for a really long time. But just to kind of roll this back around.
oh,
the-
we're going back to Devin Townsend.
No, we're going back to the Black Sunshine. So keep your eyes open. We'll probably do some in progress videos, some testing videos, I'd imagine, and kind of keep you guys in the loop in the creation of the Professor Pedalz Lowell edition Black Sunshine. It's gonna be badass, guys. I'm telling you what. The man, Brandon Schock, is the man for the job. He's the right man for the job. This dude showed me the Migo recently, and I literally turned to him and said these words. I'm like, Brandon, this is your best work. Like, it was absolutely stunning, and I'm gonna quit blowing smoke up his ass. But like, I'm super stoked for this, because if there was ever a man that was ready, this job was designed for, it's this guy. And I can't believe that, like, this is a dude that I sought out. Like, Brandon, I sought you out. I bought a pedal of yours at Old Town Music.
You
It
bought
was
a can of chicken.
it was a can of chicken, but it was the whoop ass drive, and it was in a can, like a tuna can, like a little can. And it had a bunch of really cool stuff, like on the back you flip it over and say, do not open, contains Chuck Norris pubic hair or something. And it's the magic, so don't crack it open. But it was like hand printed, it was like printed labels and everything. And I remember, like, I walked in the case in Old Town Music. This is a really kick-ass store in Portland, and I look down and I'm like, what the hell is that? Whoop ass drive. I'm like, hey, like, he's like, hey, how can I help you? And I was like, hey man, like, I want to get that. And he's like, oh, cool. And he goes to hand it to me. And I'm like, no, I want to get that. He's like, you don't want to try it? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm going to buy that. It doesn't matter. It could sound like garbage. I'm going to go back there and play it. I could hate it. I'm still going to buy it because that's cool. And then I got it home, and the thing is just savage, dude. Like, the whoop ass drive is fucking savage. And then I'm like, and then this is right at the top of when I started to do videos, right? I had not really done a ton of videos at that point. I'd done like the Rainbow Machine video and another one, I think. And I had to find you. It took me a minute to find you on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had to search around, but I just sent you a message. I think I sent you like a message on like Facebook Messenger and like Instagram or something like that.
I don't remember. It was one, or it could have been both.
I was like, yo, dude, this is super fun. And then I found his page and I started scrolling through your page, and you have like, one of the things I really always dug was the ram's head, where you have it in the skull.
It's like right here.
Yeah, I know. And I know we've talked about that a bunch. I saw another one that was like in an ammo case, which is super cool. Yeah. And then like varying other just crazy stuff. But like, keep your eyes peeled to the pedalboard channel, because stuff's gonna be off the chain. So now I just want to take a brief moment to thank the wonderful sponsors of this channel. First and foremost, not foremost, but just first, I want to thank SE Microphones for hooking up some microphones to do this with. This one is the SE 2200. It's very good. Sounds very nice. A little more sensitive than I'm used to, so I can't like knock on stuff. I also want to thank Mattoverse. He has donated some pedals to our cause, and look for more of his stuff, because he made the worst delay pedal I've ever heard. He actually advertised it as like the worst fuzz pedal ever, but it began life as a delay pedal. And it's
Well, and I gotta say, so I mean, yeah, he's given us some stuff, but I liked the air trash so much because of how terrible it was. I had to buy my own, and he made me this nice lime green with a pink LED.
He's a dude of dudes, and we're gonna do Death and Rainbows. We're doing a review of the air trash on there. Like
And actually, tomorrow there is a the shock rock tripolar delay and this air trash
yeah,
debuting tomorrow.
yes, there is. What is the name of that video, Brandon?
Bro, you gotta have a pair.
You gotta have a pair. So
With
look for that
hosted by Chad Von Dushington III.
that debuts tomorrow on the not tomorrow, but it has debuted already.
It has already debuted.
Go to
Yes,
YouTube
sir.
and subscribe, you mutants. We want to thank Revv Amps for sending Vince an amp.
Yes, Vince has a very nice amp.
Yeah, Vince has
I
a
can't
very
wait to see him barbecuing with it next to him.
yeah, he does. Vince has not like really started doing a whole lot of reviews yet. He's kind of like me and Brandon kind of picked up the content ball and ran with it, and Vince has been kind of doing like the more admin stuff. But
I mean,
yeah,
I just run around like a chicken with its head cut off. I mean, I just ideas coming.
me too, for the most part.
Throw shit together.
But he's you'll be seeing some stuff coming from him too. We want to thank Get Off My Case for sending us boards to do our projects on. We want to thank Bullet Cables for providing cabling. We want to I hope I'm not missing anybody.
Vagabond audio.
Well, yeah, he gets whatever. We talk about that all the time. We want to thank Shock Rock Effects, Brandon, for seeding this channel with his joyous face and skills.
And then having to deal with Vince and Lowell.
Having to deal with Vince. Lowell's not so bad. You don't bear the brunt of my ire like Vince does.
I don't have to deal with the admin stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just want to thank Vince too, as well. Vagabond Audio. He builds really kick-ass pedal boards. He built mine, my gig board. It's fantastic. He did a great job. I've seen a lot of his boards. He does builds too. You can check him out on Vincent DeJoya at YouTube. You can check out Brandon on Instagram. Shock Rock. What is it? Shock Rock Effects or Shock Rock Pedals?
It's just under at Shock Rock. SCHOCK.
Yeah, SCHOCK, bitches. You can check me out at littlegeorgegranoff.com, and we are rocking and rolling. I just want to say thank you, Brandon, for doing this. We're going to have more videos subsequently coming out about the Black Sunshine. I have been Lowell George Granoff, your pseudo host, and try not to look a bag of suck, everybody, because shit's kind of sucky right now. Just hold it down and be fantastic always. Goodbye.